Hello, everyone. I'm going to give everyone just a minute to join. Hope y'all are doing all right after lunch. We're on the home stretch here. Um,
I'm, I'm kind
I
of
do want
sleepy,
to
but
first introduce. So I'm Elizabeth Tennyson. I'll be one of the moderators for the Alchemer Essential session, and then also Lauren Truen. She'll be another moderator. So if you have any questions you want to send us directly or things you want us to take note of, please just send it our way. Um, Welcome everyone to session two or of the breakouts this afternoon. So this session will walk through the step-by-step process of creating a survey using Alchemer while exploring all of those essential features to enhance survey development. You'll discover advanced strategies for streamlining workflows, optimizing analysis, and effectively integrating key features into the survey creation process. You will also learn how to leverage Alchemer's tools to build efficient reporting frameworks and achieve data collection goals with actionable insights. And so we have the honor today of presenting Dr. Lindsay Blair. She's assistant professor at Bellarmine, and she also holds a PhD in epidemiology and population health, an MPH and a BS in biology from the University of Louisville. She serves as the uh, AoS librarian for Kentucky. And then she's formerly the senior community epidemiologist at Lincoln Control District Health Department. She specializes in biostatistics, environmental health. Her research centers on radon exposure's effects on breast cancer survival and legal epidemiology regarding arsenic in private well water and bladder cancer. Dr. Blair teaches advanced statistics and managerial epidemiological methods, and then combining her expertise in biological sciences and population health dynamics. So, without further ado, Dr. Blair, the floor is yours.
all right. Thank you, Elizabeth. So, like Elizabeth said, we're going to go over some best practices in Alchemer. But first, maybe if I can get the slides to move, we're just having an overview. So, just give a little introduction of Alchemer, the goals of the session, and then the specific topics that we're going to cover. But while I'm doing that, maybe Elizabeth, if you could drop a link in the chat, or you can scan the QR code from your phone, and I'll show you how to print those QR codes for Alchemer surveys later if you don't know how. But there's just a quick Alchemer poll. We just want to know the experience that you have. Maybe you have zero experience with Alchemer. Maybe you are an expert and you know more than I do. If so, feel free to chime in throughout the presentation. So while you do that, I'll just walk through the session objectives. So we are actually going to walk through a step-by-step process today of creating a survey in Alchemer. And while we do that, we'll explore some of the essential features that help enhance survey development for you, for the end user, and even for whoever's going to analyze your survey. We'll also discover some advanced strategies for streamlining workflows and optimizing analysis by using things like aliases in our exports. And then we'll leverage Alchemer's tools that are available within Alchemer to build efficient reporting frameworks and achieve some of the data collection goals that you might have. So the specific topics that we're going to cover, we will go through creating a survey, distributing the survey, and reporting the survey. So we'll go over some of the different question types that are available. We'll show you how to do some skip or disqualify logic. We'll go through piping and repeating, how to use merge codes. Global questions, those are great, especially for demographics. If you want to use, say, you want to ask age the same way throughout multiple surveys. And then we'll go through some styling. Maybe you want to add your logo to the surveys. We'll walk through how to do that. And then when you distribute your survey, there's ways that you can do that through email campaigns. You can print those QR codes like you maybe just used for this quick survey that you took. You can embed the survey directly into a website And you can even provide different tracking links. So I know we did that a lot at the health department. If we had surveys that were being filled out by hand and then someone was entering them, you had that person use a different link in case there was a question or an error. We could always go back. Oh, hey, you entered this. Can you help us walk through that? So that's distributing, and then we'll end with reporting. We'll go through exports where question aliases come in handy. We'll also talk about the reporting feature in Alchemer, and we'll show you different ways how to filter reports. So I think with that, maybe we'll just log into Alchemer here. So feel free, if you are an Alchemer user and you have an account, to go ahead and log on, and maybe you want to create this survey with me. So the first thing that we do, this is the screen that pops up when you log into Alchemer, and we are going to create a survey. So we go here to create new. If you go down to the little arrow here, you can create a survey, a form. You can even create a poll, which is really great. Maybe that's what we should have used for our quick little survey, but you can create a quiz and it'll grade it for you, or even a payment form. Say you have a survey where you're asking people to pay. There's a payment form that you can create. But today we're just going to walk through creating a survey, which is probably what we use most in public health. So the first thing that we want to do is look here. We can create a blank survey. We can use a template. Maybe your local health department AoS chapter has created a bunch of templates, like a community health assessment template, and you want to use that template. You can, that's where you would go here and use a template. You could copy a survey. Maybe you did a similar survey last year and you just want to copy that one and make changes to it. You can copy it. You can even import from Word. If you first created the survey in Word, you can import it into Alchemer. Or if maybe you had another platform before you found how great Alchemer was, and you download all of those surveys into Word from that platform, you can upload those here as well. But today we're going to start with a blank survey, and we're going to do a fun survey. We're going to talk about dream vacation. So we're just going to give it a name. Dream vacation survey. You can see I practiced this earlier, but we're not going to use the old one. So you choose a team is the next thing that you do. And it always defaults to the Alchemer team that you are on, but you can change it here. I am with AoS leadership, so I always like to change it to AoS leadership so I don't clog up Lincoln trails whenever I make surveys for AoS. So I'm going to go ahead and change that here. And then we start building. So then we come to our build tab for our survey. And the first thing that I like to do on any survey is add instructions. Let people know the objective of my survey, why they are taking this. So in order to do that, we use the text media option here on the title page. So before I do anything else, add any questions, I add text media. So here's our media. This is where we can type in our instructions, and I cheated. I have them over here to copy and paste in so that you don't have to watch me type. So here we have our instructions. Maybe I want to make the word instructions bigger. I can highlight it and change the size. I want to draw this to people's attention that it's instructions. Maybe I want to make that a red. So in that case, you would, I think these are called ellipses. I'm not real sure. The three dots over here to the right of the screen. And here we can change the color of our wording. We can even give it a background if we want to. So I'm going to go ahead there and make that red so everyone can see that these are our instructions. Maybe I want to add, numbers here or bullet points. I can do that. You can organize it however you want. So that this is a great feature. And that's all we need here. I just want the instructions to show up on the first page of the survey. So we're going to go ahead and hit Save Text Media. So now that people know what our survey is about, another option that we can do is ask them, do they even want to take this survey? Maybe they didn't know what they were signing up for and they read it like, no, I don't really care about dream vacation. I don't want to take your survey. So we can add a question here. And we're just going to start with a radio button question. And we're going to ask our participants if they would like to participate in this survey. A radio button means that you can only choose one option, and that's what we want to choose here. So we're going to say, yes, I would like to participate, and our other option is no, I would not like to participate. And we're going to go ahead and check this box here to require this question. You don't have to require this question, but I want to make sure I'm gathering everyone's response here. So we're going to hit yes. And we don't have any logic or anything, so we're just going to hit save. Now, if people select no, it probably makes sense to go ahead and send them to the thank you page, because if I say no and then the next question is a question on the survey, that just defeats the purpose of this question. So in that case, we can add skip disqualify logic. So in order to do that, we go down here to skip disqualify logic. Go ahead and click on that. And we want to add our logic condition. So here we're going to select a condition and we're going to choose that question that we just created. Would you like to participate in this survey? So if the respondent chooses no here, so we click no, and you can say is one of the following answers or is not one of the following answers. You can even say if this question is answered or not answered. But in our case, we're going to say is one of the following answers yes. So if the participant chooses yes, we will send the survey to a survey page number. And in this case, we're going to send it to the thank you page. So this means that if they check no to they would not like to participate in our study, it will go ahead and send them to the thank you page and complete that survey for them. So then they don't even have to bother scrolling through the rest of the questions. So let's go ahead and we can mark the survey as complete once this process happens. So we'll hit save action here. So now we have instructions. We've asked if they would like to participate in our study. We've set up a skip disqualify action for if they respond no. So now we're ready to start adding the remainder of our questions to our study. So in that case, we're going to add a new page here. And we're going to start adding some questions. So the first question that we would like to add, I'll go back. So in order to add a new question, you hit add new question down here. You can also give this page a title, but it's not necessary. So we'll go down to question. And in this case, I want them to be able to check more than one answer for this question. So instead of a radio button, I'm going to change it to a checkbox, because with a checkbox, they can have multiple choices. So my question here is, which of these destinations would you like to visit? So then I'm going to give them a list of destinations that they can choose from. So would they like to go on a beach paradise or a mountain retreat? And you see it defaults to 2 options, but we can add as many as we want. Actually, I did a survey the other day where I had 120 options, but that's how many counties that we have in Kentucky. So here I'll add another one. I want to know, maybe they want to go on a city adventure. Maybe they want to go on a safari expedition, but maybe they want to do something that I didn't list here. So in that case, we can add in other options. So down here we have, we can click this add other, and we can add an all of the above. So it would add, maybe you want to go to all of the above places. You can add a not applicable. Maybe they don't ever get to go on vacation. Oh, maybe they're in prison. This is not applicable to them. None of the above, or we can have an other and write in. And in this case, that's what we want to do. If they choose other, we want to know where they would like to go. So I'm going to choose write in required. That way, if they choose other, it's required that they tell me where they want to go. But there's also that option there that was write in and it's not required. So I'm gonna go ahead and we're gonna require this question as well. And we're gonna hit save question. So now we know where they would like to go. So let's say I want to add follow-up questions for each destination that they chose. And if they chose beach paradise and mountain retreat, I want the next questions to ask them about their beach paradise and their mountain retreat. So we are going to repeat these questions. So we're going to add a new page here. If you want to repeat questions, you have to be on a different page from the original question. That's why we're adding a new page here instead of adding more questions, because you can add more questions here. But since I want the next questions to repeat based on the answer choices in this question, we add a new page. So we want these, we're gonna add two questions here, and we want each of these questions to repeat. So we're gonna have this page repeat. So here, next to add page title, we're gonna click the little pencil icon to hit edit page. And now we're going to go up here to repeat. And we want, right now this page is not repeated, but we're going to go to the drop down here and we're going to repeat it for which of these destinations would you like to visit. So now this page is going to repeat as many, if they selected all four of those vacation options, this page is going to repeat 4 times. And that's what we want. And also, when I ask the next question, I want them to know whether they're answering about beach paradise or mountain retreat or city adventure or their safari. So I want to add that piped value, which is the question that, which is the answer choice that they chose. I want to add that in the next question title. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this merge code here, page piped value. So you can highlight it and right click and hit copy, or you can highlight it and do Control C on your keyboard. So we're going to copy that and we're going to save this page. And now it'll tell us here that this page repeats based on the selected answers in this question here, which is ID 6. And it tells us it's ID 6. So now we're ready to add those questions. So let's go ahead and add our first question. And we want to know what type of accommodation, oh, I can spell today, do you prefer during and this is where I want the word beach paradise or mountain retreat or whatever they selected in question ID 6. So now we're going to paste in that merge code that we copied from the repeat on the page. So we're going to add that there and then vacation. So now when this question comes up, it'll say, what type of accommodation do you prefer during your beach resort, beach paradise vacation? And then the next time the page repeats, if they chose mountain retreat, it will say, what type of accommodation do you prefer during your mountain retreat vacation? So that way they know which option they are answering for. So let's go ahead and paste in some values. Oh, I pasted it up there. Paste in some values here. We got hotel, a resort. I like to stay in a resort, a hostel, maybe never. A vacation home. Oh, those are nice too, like an Airbnb. Camping. I'm not really a camping girl. And then and we'll go ahead and do the other write-in required this time. So there's a lot of options here that you can see. So we're going to go ahead and make this a drop-down menu. So you can see over here to the left where we can see our question. It's a drop-down menu. And maybe we want them to be able to choose more than one drop-down. So in that case, we're going to go to the validation because maybe they like to stay at a hotel, but maybe they also like to stay at a resort. They don't really care which one. So we're going to go to the validation tab. And we're going to check the box next to allow survey takers to select more than one option from this drop-down menu. Because by default, drop-down menus, you can only have one answer choice. But we want them to be able to check multiple. But maybe they don't know how to check multiple because there's no checkbox that they just click. You have to actually press and hold control. So we're going to go to the layout tab and we're going to add some additional instructions for them here. So I'm gonna paste my instructions here, telling them to press and hold control to select multiple items. And I want that to be italicized so that they know it's not part of the question. And I also want to change the color here. I like this red to really draw it to their attention that this is how you do that. And if you, by default, it goes underneath of the question title, but you can also click this box and have it show the instructions above the question title. But I like it underneath. So we're just going to go ahead and hit save question there. So now you can see all of our options, and there's our additional instructions there to press and hold control to select multiple items. Now we are also going to add another question here. We're going to say, what excites you most about visiting your destination? And this is an open-ended question. So I don't want to give them options. I want them to be able to type in what excites them most. So we're going to change the question type up here, go to the drop down, and we could do a text box or an essay long answer. Maybe they have a long answer. They're long worded, not like me. So we're going to go ahead and hit essay there. We're going to require this question. So now they can type in whatever they want. And you'll see in the question, I brought in that merge code again so that they know that they're answering either about their beach or mountain or city or safari vacation. So we can hit save there. Now we want to ask them a question, but it's related to any dream vacation. It doesn't matter which one. So we don't want those questions to repeat. So we're going to go to a new page because remember we had this page 3 repeat, but the next questions we don't want to repeat. So we're going to add a new page here again. And we are going to, maybe we want them to rate how important it is to experience new cultures on their vacation. So in that case, we'd add a question, and we want them to rate it like a Likert scale. So we're going to change this to a rating. And maybe we don't like, very dissatisfied. That doesn't really make any sense with our question here. Let me paste in our question. I believe experiencing new cultures is an important part of my experience. The default here is very dissatisfied. That doesn't really make any sense. I want it to say like, I strongly agree, I disagree. So I could type those in here, or I could go over to the common answer library, which comes in really handy, and there's options on most question types. So let's go to our common answer library, open up our drop-down menu. We could add here numbers 1 to 100. We could say on a scale 1 to 100, how much do you believe experiencing new cultures is important? We could also do, this is the default is the very dissatisfied. You can have it 1 to 3 options, 1 to 5, and so on. But in this case, I want to know whether you agree or you don't agree, or you're maybe neutral. So I'm going to say rating agree 1 to 5. And you'll see how it updates here. So now I believe experiencing new cultures is important, is strongly disagree all the way to strongly agree. So that common answer library really, it saved me a little bit of time having to type all these in. So I really like that common answer library feature. So we can go ahead and hit save question here. And maybe now we also want to ask some demographic questions. And we know that as a group, our local health department, Academy of Science chapter has decided that as a group, we're going to ask gender a certain way every time. We're going to ask race a certain way every time. And we have put that in the global library. So now we want to be able to use those questions in our survey so that we're asking them in the most appropriate way. So in order to add one of those global questions, we choose here instead of add new question, we're going to add a library item. And if you choose it, it automatically pops up all of them, but you can also go to the drop down here and choose which one. I'm not honestly sure if you can see more than just your states, but for now we're going to choose demographics because that is available to us. So we have put in our library, we put a question on gender. So I want to ask that question on gender. If I wanted to use race and sexuality, you could choose those and they would also import at the same time. But we're just going to start with gender and we're going to save our question. Maybe. Oh, okay. So there it is. Oh, I added it way more than one time. So we're just going to go ahead and delete that one. And you can see, wait a minute, it has an orange box around it. That means that that question is linked. So when you go to analyze, you can analyze this question. It's linked to other surveys. So in this case, we're going to unlink it. We don't want it to be linked to other surveys. So we're going to go back into edit and we're going to unlink this element. So now the orange box is gone and it's no longer when someone analyzes this question, it won't pull in our results from our survey. So that's really helpful. I love the library items. We use those a lot for the demographic questions. And also if there's, we have 120 counties in Kentucky, and I swear on like every single one of our surveys, we ask which county you're affiliated with. And if we leave it open-ended, sometimes a county is spelled wrong or they put the word county in, other times they don't. So I like to give them a drop-down option. And without that library item, I would have to enter 120 counties every single time I did that question. And that would not be fun or useful good use of my time. So I put that question in the global library and then I can pull that into all of my surveys. It's very beneficial. Okay, so now this is our short survey on your dream vacation. So we're done. So now we're not going to add any more questions, but we do want a thank you page to come up when someone hits submit. And this comes up by default. It says, thank you for taking our survey. Your response is very important to us, but we can edit that as well. So let's go into edit. Let's say maybe someone hit submit by accident and they forgot to choose Safari. They forgot they want to take a Safari expedition and they want to be, you want them to be able to go back in and edit their survey. So in order to do that, you in the thank you page, you could add an edit link. So how do we do that? We go back to our little three dots here and we're going to choose, actually, you don't have to go to the three dots. We're going to choose merge codes. And we could add our questions, but we want to add that edit link. So we're going to go to about the respondent, and then we're going to click insert next to the edit link, or you can just click the edit link. Sorry. So now when the thank you page comes up, there will be an edit link for people to go back in and edit their survey. But if you don't want anyone to be able to edit their survey after they've sent it to you, then do not add the survey link. But I think it comes in handy. One time we had a survey that was, oh, Elizabeth, you have to tell me, there was like 7,000 questions on it, I swear. And I had someone from the health department reach out to me and she said, oh no, something happened and I accidentally hit submit and I was halfway through it. So we were able to provide her with an edit link and she was so thankful to not have to start over from the very beginning of that survey. So edit links come in really handy. So now we've updated our thank you and there are some actions that we can add now. I know that I like to get alerted on some of my surveys whenever a response comes in. So we can add an action here. This is really useful. And it is a send email action. And this allows you to send an email to you, to anyone. Like I could send an email to Elizabeth when someone completes a survey. I could send a copy of the survey responses to the participant. So we're going to go ahead and do send email option here. So we're going to add it so that at the end, at the completion of that survey, it can send an email. For default, the email will look like it's coming from Alchemer, which is fine, but you can also change that to whatever you want there. You can change that line. And then reply to, right now it's set up where you can't reply, but you can change that. Maybe I want them, if they hit reply, I want them to be able to reply to me. So I can change and put my email address there. And then the two, now this is where we decide who we want this survey to go to. If we want it to, this email, if we want it to go to the survey taker, we have to add an option to pull in the email address. So, well, I forgot to do that, but we'll go back and do it. So here is two. Right now, I just want it to send it to me. I want a copy of all of the surveys that come in. And you can also edit this message down here at the bottom. I always just delete the sample text here, and I like to see the responses that were entered. So I would go in and type the first question here, but you can put whatever you want in this email message. But if you also want to know the responses, you can type in the question, and then you can use those merge codes that we learned about earlier to input the question response. So here, which of these destinations would you like? You can go to the merge code and stay on the page and questions tab. And maybe we want to know which of these destinations were you like. So you click that question, and we want to know whatever they answered. So say Elizabeth takes this survey, she hits complete, and if I choose question answer here, it will tell me her question answer on that. And you can go through and do that for every single question. And we do that a lot. It comes in handy. That way I don't have to go back into Alchemer and be like, oh, they like that, or they're with this health department, or whatever your question is. It just comes up in my email and I can easily see that. So if we hit save this action, then this email will be sent to myself or whoever that you put there at every single time a survey is completed. But if we want to send it to the respondent, we have to collect their we have to collect their email address. So let's go back up here and to our last page that we created, and let's add another question. And let's say I want to know their name and their email address. So I can say, hi, Elizabeth, thank you for taking our survey. So in that case, we're going to change our question type. And since I'm collecting two different things on the same person, I'm going to use custom group here. So in my group description, I'm going to say, please provide the following information. And then I'm asking them for their name. So you see down here, we have sub questions. So the first one is I want their name. And then the second one, I want their email address. You'll see over here that by default, the second sub question is that essay question, but the email address is very small and it will fit in a text box. So I don't want to give them that big of a box. So I am going to edit this question type. And to do that, you click the pencil next to it. And you can change that particular question type from essay, long answer, to text box. And you can see that it updated over here on the left. So now I'm going to go ahead and save this question and save it again. And then it brings me back to the parent question. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and hit save, but I do want you to know that you can add multiple sub questions here. Maybe I also want to know maybe their title or where they work or something. You can add a sub question here. But for our case, we're just going to collect their name and email address. So now we're going to save that question. And here it is. Please provide the following information and your name and your email address. So now if I want to send an email, you can send another email. You could go back and edit the email that was just sent. But let's just go ahead and edit the email that was sent. So here, oh, I forgot to finish typing in. If you want to add more than one person, you would hit a comma. And now we want the survey taker's email address because we want this survey to be sent to the survey taker as well. So we're going to click survey taker down next to quick fills. And then it's asking where in the survey is their email address. So if we click that drop down, we'll scroll all the way down because remember it was the last question that we asked and we choose email and then hit save. So now it is going to send the copy of this email to myself as well as the survey taker. So that's one way to be able to send emails of the how the person answered each question to the survey taker. It comes in handy. I really like it.
I just wanted to pop in quick. We got just under 10 minutes left.
Oh my gosh, already?
The time flies
Okay.
when you're having fun.
Time flies. You're so right. Okay. Well, let's jump to styling because right now, let's go up to the, so we were on the build tab. Let's go to the style tab. And it's spinning. Still spinning. You can style your survey. You can add your logo. You can change the colors. Right now, it's just that dreary white background, nothing exciting. So you can add a logo. Your logo, it doesn't have to be your logo. It can be any image. So we're going to click Add Image. And you can either choose the image URL. Maybe you found an image online that you really like, or you can upload it from your computer and add it here. In this case, I've already added a cute little vacation one. So I'm going to click on that and insert image. And you can see you can make it smaller or bigger. You see it over here, changing sizes. You can put it in the left, the center, or the right, but I kind of like it in the left. But it's still this white header and I don't really like it. Well, you can change the header colors, you can change the page color, you can change the whole background color. You can choose from these colors or enter the hex code if you know it. Or you can even select it from the image. Maybe I want one of these colors. Maybe you have logo colors and you can select that color from the image. But now that I've changed that, I can't really see the lettering there. So in that case, we go down here to text and we can change that text, that color to white. So now it really pops against that blue background and it's a much prettier survey to take. So then we can hit apply changes. So that is styling your survey. Oh shoot, I'm not sure what's most important to go to next, but we'll go back to the build tab. So now that we have our survey built, we are ready to share it. So let's go, actually, let's test it first. First thing you do is test it. You can either test it manually here, or you can invite others to test it by sending them a link. We're gonna test it manually. So it comes up, it's that pretty vacation survey that we put in. There's our instructions. Just want to test our logic. Remember we said, would you like to participate in this survey? We said if they hit no, it would go to the thank you page, and that's exactly what happened. It went to the thank you page. So it's really, really important for you to test your survey, especially if you added a lot of that logic, because sometimes I found multiple times I didn't do it right, and it would have been embarrassing if I sent that survey out like that. So you definitely want to test your survey first, and you can automatically generate test data too if you're trying to get your reporting and your exports in line before you start collecting data, real live data as well. We can also go to the share tab, and here is where we share, say, our survey. We tested it, it's ready to go. This is where you get the link here to send to other people to take your survey. Once you start collecting information, the map will update as well as the graph here. this is where we talked about sending that new tracking link. If you click that, it will give you a new link. You can give it a name. So maybe this is Elizabeth's link, Elizabeth Kneebone. I don't know. That's definitely not you, Elizabeth, but another Elizabeth tracking link, and you can open it or close it. That way, every time Elizabeth enters it, then I know because she used this specific link. And then earlier, you filled out a survey for me and you used a QR code. This is where I got that QR code from. Here you can just print a QR code. I took a snippet of this. You can copy and paste this. You can save this to your computer as well. So that comes in handy. And then here's where you get the embed code to embed it into your website. If you're familiar with that, and it gives you the JavaScript, the HTML, the pop-up, the iframe, gives you everything that you would need to embed this. And then you can also, quickly, I know we're running out of time, but we can send via an email campaign, which is so good. If you are sending to like 1,000 people, if you know exactly who you're sending this to. So we, at the health department, we wanted to send it to everyone, the survey, workforce development survey, to everyone in the health department. So we sent them all each their own link using an email campaign. That way we knew who filled it out, who didn't fill it out, and we were able to send them a reminder email. Hey, you forgot to fill this out, don't forget. So the first thing you do here is send an email campaign, create an email campaign name, and we're just going to say AoS conference. This is for internal use only. Only the people that get the emails will not see this. So you can choose whatever you want. And then, so we create our email campaign here. And then you can add a reminder email. You can add a thank you message. You can edit the contacts. So next you would add contacts. Here you click the add contacts, and you can, if you just have a couple people, you can manually enter them. You can select from a list, and you can also upload a spreadsheet. So that's what we're going to do here. You can choose a file from your computer. And here I've already added one. So it's our AoS conference contact list. Let's hit open and then hit continue. And I checked a box there to let them know that I did have a header row. So you can map this to fields in Alchemer. So here we have the first row was the first name, the second row was the last name, and the third row was the email address, which is, I don't know, I can't see. It's on here somewhere, but maybe it's this top one here. Yes. So then you hit continue, and you can send, it automatically defaults to Jake because he is our admin, but you can change that to yourself, or maybe on this case, we only have 5. It's not going to take a long time to upload. So I'm not going to send an email notification when the upload is complete. And then you hit continue. This is Alchemer is so good. It's very straightforward, very user-friendly. And you can also, so now that that's uploaded, you can send or schedule the email. You can send it right now. Say I want to send it out right now. Maybe you're working on this late at night and you don't want to send it till tomorrow morning. You can hit this not scheduled here, and you can actually schedule it. So you can choose the date and time that you want it to go out. So then you would schedule email. Okay, so that is delivery. And then also after you send that, now you have delivery statistics. So you can pop in here at any time and see how many emails maybe bounced back. Maybe you typed in the email address incorrectly, how many people actually unsubscribed, or how many emails were initiated. And then here you'll see how many people actually completed the survey. So it comes in really handy. And I love the email campaigns. It saved a lot, especially that reminder email, because maybe people the due date's coming up, and maybe this is a simple survey like a food order, and you really need to get that food order in or something. So you can send a reminder email to let them know, hey, don't forget to fill out this survey. So I love the share from the email campaign. It's so good. So now that we've shared it and we've collected all of our data, the next thing to do is to do reporting. So here we go to results. We can look at our individual responses, or we can look at, maybe we want to export our data to Excel. So I'm going to go in and generate some test responses. I'm going to generate 100 test responses here so that we can actually see something. Should have did that earlier. How much time do I have, Lauren?
It's 2:30 now, but I think we can go over a little bit. So you got
Okay.
another good 5 minutes or so.
Okay, so good. I'll keep going. Okay, so now we have some test data. So I'm going to go to results and exports. I love the reporting in Alchemer, but a lot of the time I like to analyze it in a different software program like SAS or SPSS. So in that case, I use the CSV Excel export function. So here you can hit new export. And I like to just download all of this data. So I hit download all data now. You can also hit create report. I like to do it like this, but takes a minute. Okay, so we click to download our export, and then here it is. So it gives us the time that it started and ended, how long it took them to take this survey. It gives you the latitude and longitude, and then it gives you all of the questions. But you'll notice here that the header defaults to the actual survey question. And if you've analyzed data in a software program, this is not helpful at all. You want a shorter variable name. But don't worry, we can easily do that in Alchemer. So in that case, we would go to tools, results, editing, reporting values, and aliases. So we'll choose that, and we can give our questions an alias. So instead of the question popping up in that header row, the alias would pop up in that header row. So would you like to participate in this survey? An alias could be participate. For this one, which of these destinations? It could be destinations. It can be whatever you want. And then when you go back in and export your result, you see how it just saved it there. You go back in and export. Let's do our new export again. Hurry up, Alchemer. Hopefully, oh, here it is. I want you to be able to see that it uses the alias. So here, see, it used the alias participate instead of that full question. So now it'd be so much easier when you're putting it in SAS, you have that shortened variable. And now like beach paradise, destinations, because these are the destinations, and it puts them in individual columns. And it's so helpful. You can also change these instead of beach paradise. You can have it say 1 or 2. Let me try to pull that back up. In the build here, if you go back in to edit, you can reporting, you can have custom reporting values here, and you can change it. So instead of the reporting value for yes is usually 1 and no is usually 0. So then when you do that export, you can have it pull in the reporting value. So it's much easier when you go to analyze it offline. You don't have to Control F in Excel and find words and change them to find all the yeses and change it to 1, all the nos to 0. So those reporting values and those aliases, your data analyst will thank you for that 100%. Go ahead and hit save question there. So that is results. And I was thinking maybe we could go into our survey to look at the survey that we filled out for the Alchemer survey experience poll. We can go in and look at our results together so we can see the reporting function. So here we can create a new report. We can look at this report here. And we'll see that we had 21 people complete it. And let's see, we had 28.6% with no experience, 28.6 with limited. Uh-oh, we have some extensive experience. Sorry if you were bored and here if you had extensive experience, but hopefully it was helpful for some people. You can add filters here. You can filter by response status. So maybe we don't want to pull in any partials or disqualified or any of that test data. You only want completed, so you can save that filter. You can compare segments by answer questions. Maybe you want to look at people, you want to compare by their level of experience. Yeah, you can do that here. I mean, that's probably not a good question for that, but just so that you can see how to use those segments. And then reporting style, just like before, we can change the page color. We can add our logo in here again, whatever we want to show up on our survey. Say you're sending this to a stakeholder and you want to put your logo on there, you can do that. And then, yeah, so the filtering really comes in handy. Throughout this document, you can add a text or image. We had a really big survey and it had like multiple program specific questions in there. And so we were able to go in and add a text and we would say, okay, this is for human resources. So the end user could easily scroll through and be like, oh, okay, these next questions are for human resources. And you can change the size of that and the color just like before. So yeah, so that is quick and dirty reporting in Alchemer. Let's go back to our share tab and it'll hopefully load the map. I don't make a liar out of me, Alchemer. Anyway, it's supposed to take the latitude and longitude from where they filled out the survey and update the map. And I know this works because Jake showed it in a meeting the other day, and it was a really cool feature. So anyway, that might spin for a long time, but I want to open the floor to questions if there are any questions. Elizabeth, Lauren, no questions that were left unanswered or
one just came through in the chat. How do you recommend handling skip logic if you're also doing paper surveys?
Oh, that's a good question. Well, it depends on if you are, I mean, if you're going to enter them into Alchemer, then you would set the skip logic up the same way. But that's much harder when you're doing a paper survey. But I always put for our paper surveys, if yes to the question above, then you can fill this out. Otherwise, skip. So I give instructions within the survey to let them know, you don't have to fill out the next questions if you answered a certain way to question one. So I think that's useful to provide just the different directions in text on the survey, on the paper survey.
I think there's a few people with their hands up. You guys have any
Yeah.
questions? Can come off mute.
Oh, I see
Hoping next
Jerry's
year.
hand.
Okay.
Yes, thank you so much. My name is Jerry. Elizabeth knows me a little bit. I'm a CDCP help. I have a question. Is there any way to get a practice field? Some way, I can practice this on my own without, going to the actual survey. I don't want to save something, that I make a big mess, then I'll have to save it. Do you have a practice field or a reference pages? Someone can go in and make a reference. Okay, I'm doing this, this is the way it's done, just in case.
Yeah.
Is there anything of that nature? Thank you.
Yes. So the PowerPoint that we will send out has reference links on there. And Alchemer University, I don't know if you've ever used Alchemer University, but it's really great and it has practice examples for you to walk through. So have you used Alchemer University?
No, ma'am.
It's really good. It's really good. And you can always create a test survey in Alchemer and then delete it after you play around with it.
I see that while you doing it, you saving.
Yeah.
So, but I guess, at the end of at the end of the survey, that will be the final saving. Is it correct?
Yeah,
Because
it
it's
saves
saving as you
throughout.
go.
Yes, it saves as you go, but then once you're done, you can delete the entire survey.
Got you. All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Because I'll probably delete the survey we just created together.
Okay.
But it's good practice to get in there and get your hands dirty.
That's right. Thanks.
I did put some links in the chat also to the national trainings that we had, I believe, a couple of years ago. There's the first one, and then there's also a more advanced one that you all are welcome to listen to. Jake has made those available on YouTube, and then I also made sure that you had the link to Alchemer University, but you can access that when you log into the Alchemer platform within your account as well on the left-hand pane there.
Yeah. It's good.
I had a question. This is Roberta Smith from Colorado. We're currently going to be launching a survey and we've got multiple partners and I just haven't even tried to put logos on the survey because I'm thinking you can only put one on there. I don't know if people have done other things when you've got multiple partners participating. And I
Yeah,
wasn't
Elizabeth,
gonna create a new logo.
no, Elizabeth, she works around this pretty well.
And I don't know if any others have tried this, but I open a Word document in landscape and I put everyone's logo together. I choose the background that I want on the Word document so that the colors will match. You can choose the exact text code that you might need in the actual header of your survey, and then just rock and roll with it. And I just take a little snippet of the image or convert that Word document to an image. You can crop it and then I upload it. Try to make sure that the sizing in the Word document is the size that you would like it in the survey so that it's not pixelated. But I don't know if anyone's tried anything else, though.
I have
Yeah, I
also
think
done that.
Yeah, that's a great workaround, I think.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. Hopefully it doesn't take up the whole page of the survey. That's my concern too.
Yeah,
you
you
can
can
make it
adjust the
kind of
size.
small.
Yeah. Yeah, just make it small.
Well, we're right at 3:43. I don't know if there's any other questions. Lindsay, thank you so much. I know that I pushed you out of your comfort zone yet again to do this. So thank you so much for this
You're
presentation
welcome.
and sharing your insights with the group. We all appreciate it so much. We're
Yeah, of
about a
course.
couple of minutes away from rejoining the main conference session for closing remarks. And then if anyone has any other questions, feel free to reach out to us. Lindsay's email address. I'm sure she'll be open to answering questions even outside of this presentation. So
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Maybe next year we'll do like an advanced topics. There's lots of advanced things with like different codes that you can put, changing just so much that you can actually do in Alchemer. But this was just the basics and some helpful tips.
Awesome.
Thank you.
I guess we'll be directed back to the main room in a minute.
Yeah,
time for a breather.
If we have 2 seconds for AoS members, all you have to do is be logged into Alchemer on the right-hand side or left-hand side. You're going to see Alchemer University. You just need to be logged in, and all the classes are there. So, yeah, we pay extra for that.
Yeah, I like it. Google's really good too. If I have like, I wanted
Google.
to add tooltips, I Googled Alchemer tooltips and it popped right up.
Yeah, they're integrated into Google, and I love that too.
Yeah, I do too.
And then Alchemer even has a search feature within their website. So if you just type in keywords, everything that's related to that keyword will show up as well.
Yeah. And if you're really lazy, I just call them and I give them my code to say login as me, and I watch them do it for me. 12 hours a day, it's available.